Joshua Wong, thanks for joining Sky News Your World. Now, this week we saw media mogul Jimmy Lai and prominent activist Agnes Chow arrested, as well as police raid a newsroom. Now, from afar, it seems as if authorities there are getting more forceful in their treatment of those opposed to government activities. Is that how it feels on the ground?
The threat we face is tremendous. With the uncertainty of life sentence, sent to black jail in Beijing, extradited to China, Hong Kong is not Hong Kong anymore. But with the spirit of Hong Kongers, we still continue the fight.
Does it feel as if the passing of these national security laws is a tipping point? Just how much have things changed for the pro-democracy movement since the laws were passed?
With the experience of being tracked by unknown private car and motorcycle, 4 cars at the same time, and being stalked day by day, which really imply the threat and the uncertainty, at least let our voice being heard around the world.
So can you give us a sense of how these national security laws have changed how activists like yourself operate? Do you have to do things differently? Does it mean that you can't say or do things? Just how does it change things?
Apart from my book was banned in Hong Kong Public Library, myself is being stalked by pro-Beijing agent day by day with unknown private car, even conducting interview with you or others for media might also be the evidence of collusion with foreign force. With the arbitrary definition of national security law, I would say that it's just kind of speech crime, try to silence our voice.
If I may play devil's advocate here, the Hong Kong Chinese authorities say the national security laws were implemented in response to the mass protests last year. Protests which regularly shut down city blocks, the airport and train stations, where protesters took over a university and where protesters and police clashed on the streets, leading to countless injuries and worse. How do you respond to those who say the new, stronger laws are needed to prevent such scenes from happening again in Hong Kong?
National security law is not using to target at any frontline clash or civil unrest in Hong Kong. It's just used to target any politician advocate for democracy and freedom. And we all know that since last summer, in Hong Kong, such a place with only 7 million population, well, almost 10,000 people were arrested because of protests. The youngest one at the age of 11, the oldest one at the age of 84. And how they arrested Jimmy Lai or Agnes Chow is just generating the chilling effect, and that's not the way out. Political crisis must solve by political system reform.
How exactly can things improve in regards to free expression, greater rights and democracy in Hong Kong? What specifically would you demand from, say, Carrie Lam or Xi Jinping?
Stop the mass arrest and to push forward political reform. Arrest people is not the way out. We all know that Hong Kong people are just asking for the humble demand inside the framework of Sino-British Joint Declaration. We just hope to elect our government. If world cities, just like London, New York, or city, peoples can elect their own mayor, so why can't Hong Kong? The only reason behind is Beijing show no respect on democracy.
The Australian government recently announced it's allowing more people in Hong Kong a chance to get an Australian visa. And our Foreign Minister also this week co-signed a letter calling for Hong Kong elections to be held as soon as possible. What do you think of Australia's response to what's happening there, and what would you like our government and other governments to do?
We wish the world could show that they will not kowtow to China, and they will continue not to share. Especially when Hong Kong people keep on the fight, I think it's time for the world to reconsider, to reassess their foreign policy to Hong Kong and China in response to the crackdown from Beijing.
Joshua Wong, thanks for joining Sky News Your World.
Thank you.